Good morning. Happy Saturday, friends. Good to see all the folks jumping into the chat, getting rocking and rolling early here. Welcome to Saturday Morning Comics. This is the John's Comics with Friends YouTube channel, and you're in the right place. We're going to be talking a little bit of movies, comic books, Veterans Day weekend stuff. I pulled out all my sketch cover variants. I thought, you know what? I got a ton of these now. Maybe we should show them all off in case there's some people haven't seen before. But yeah, hit the like button and let's say hello to our friends who were tailgating. Of course, lead off batter. We got our man Ruben Guzman, the White Tiger. What's going on, Ruby G? How's the little tiger going? How's the Tiger Cub doing these days? I hope things are going well in that new family household you got there. Magic Lasso says this show needs a musical budget. I mean, we do have a lot of music on this channel, I guess, in specifically the Saturday show. We got X11 Bravo, one of the awesome veterans in our comic book community, somebody who supports our veterans a lot, does a lot of things to, include them in the comic book community, reward them for their active service. And so huge thank you, X11 Bravo, for leading the way as always. And then we got this guy, Perry, in the chat. He's probably busy. He's in the Discord. He's editing a video. He's playing Magic the Gathering, and he's watching my live stream simultaneously. Perry needs to pace yourself, man. It's not good for ADHD. You're doing too many things at the same time. You got to try to narrow the focus a little bit. We got Legion of Comics. Salute you, sir. The Comics Curing Cancer event was a smashing success. I'm looking forward to all the unboxings I'll be doing over the next couple of weeks. I know that some of my stuff got shipped out by Rob just recently, but huge thank you, sir, for all the hard work, because it is not easy to do that event with family and work and all these other things. So definitely appreciate it. JP Budget Collecting. What's going on, JP? Happy Saturday to you. I don't know if he's cracked open the omnibus that we are reading this month. It's the Wonder Woman by George Perez, Volume 2. So I don't know if he's cracked into it yet. I have not. I've been trying to just catch up on my new comics, the stuff that came out in 2025. I'm trying to read it and catch up on as many of those as possible. Been doing some of the work on that for sure. We got Coach Vic. He says happy game day. So he's looking forward to catching some. I know that there's a lot of college football going on. I know that because of Marcus talking about it in the Discord this morning. We got Comics Fan 73. What's going on? Yes, I'm definitely going to talk about Sinners. I watched the movie a while back, but I've sort of been mulling over my thoughts on it, and I want to get into it a little bit today. So that is definitely the thumbnail. Plus the artwork. Man, the posters, the visuals for Sinners are really strong. So I thought, that would make a really fun thumbnail. It's like a superpower. That's what I tell Kate. I tell Kate that her ADHD is a superpower because she is, and it manifests differently for everybody, but she is hyper social aware, meaning she could be in a room full of, other kids and it's chaos. And this group over here is playing a game. This group over here is watching a YouTube video. This group over here is throwing a ball and everybody's just doing their thing. But she knows instantly, oh, that person argued with their mom this morning. This person's breaking up with their boyfriend. This person's had a birthday party later tonight. She knows everything going on with everybody. So she has this hypersensitivity socially to everything that's going on with other people. And I'm like, look, I know people that are so oblivious, they have no clue what's going on with anybody else, but you are hyper aware, like Daredevil or something. She's connected in to everybody. That's cool. X11 saying good morning, and good morning to all. Happy Saturday and happy Veterans Day weekend, even though the holiday falls on a Tuesday. We're going to talk a little bit about veterans today, so be ready for that, gang. We got Roscoe in the chat. What's going on? Geek Out with Roscoe. He's been everywhere again. I'm so happy to see more Roscoe, whether it was C3 or jumping in on live streams. I know he's been part of the Black Order comic club with guys like Paul and the 619. So I've been seeing Roscoe over there with those guys a ton. We got Izzy Verse, and you know Izzy, when I'm sharing and showing off awesome sketch variants that I've got, there's some Izzyverse work in this pile right here, because that gentleman is incredibly talented. Nobody said anything about Wonder Woman. Yes, actually we did. It is not a terribly large omnibus. I want to say 24-ish comics. So 125 pages in means you're really putting in the work, my friend. Do you Wordle? I do. Yes, I do. I do Wordle, Quirtle, and Octurtle. That's the trilogy. I think I got a 4 today. Not my best work. Not my best work. We got Gore Vidal. He says Perry is the supreme multitasker. Good morning, sir. I hope you're doing well. He hasn't cracked it open either. Good. I'm feeling better. Happy about that. Kate is Jason Bourne. She's also taking her SAT right now. I dropped her off 30 minutes ago at the high school where she is taking her SAT, then came back here to do the show. And then in a couple hours, I'll go back and pick her up. So she's doing that 18-year-old life right now. And her birthday is on Thanksgiving this year. So we are spending a lot of this weekend cleaning the house and getting everything ready for a big party for her next weekend. Next Saturday night, we're doing pulled pork sandwiches that we're making here at the house, and we're doing an outdoor movie. She wants to watch Princess Bride with her cousins, and so they're all coming over. We're doing a big party next weekend. So we got to get the house all ready to go. Roscoe, he's saying thank you very much, but I've got Roscoe Works too. He's one. I don't have. You know what I don't have? I don't think I've got a Roscoe sketch cover, so I may have to send Roscoe. I've got a box, Roscoe, full of blanks, blank covers that I need to get some work done on. So I got to pick one out and just send it to you and have you do it for me, because I do need a sketch variant from you. My Cork is in the chat. Aw, good to see you. It's been a while. Good to smell you. Smell you later. Yeah, so happy Veterans Day weekend all. I hope you're doing something to thank or appreciate or be acknowledging the sacrifice of veterans in our lives, right? I want to shout out an organization that I've contributed to pretty much every year since doing YouTube. They are called Mission 22 and the Till Valhalla Project. That's the hat that I'm wearing here. They're a really quality organization run by veterans, staffed by veterans, and you can just buy a hat, buy a shirt, right? Buy some wristbands. I've got a ton of the wristbands floating around. The rubber kind, the was it paracord, braided kind. So I generally every year buy a few things from the website and support what they are doing to support veterans, right? And I think it's a cause near and dear to me from family members that have served and continue to serve. I've got cousins that are in active service. So it's a important thing this weekend when we have that Tuesday holiday coming up. And some people have Monday and Tuesday off. I do not. I will work Monday and then have Tuesday off, just to think about it, just to thank someone, or maybe just call up that uncle, that aunt, or whatever, and talk to them for a little bit. Not necessarily specifically about service, but just, that you're thinking of them, you wanted to chat with them, those kinds of things. Just something to think about with these days, because I think it's a good reminder of the sacrifice, right? A good reminder of the gift of our safety and freedom. What is going on? Cliff is in the chat, my man Cliff. Good to see you, my friend. How are you doing? Vic says, this is great because I was looking for a sketch cover video you did to show at my LCS. Now I can stop going through all your videos. Yeah, so I've got a stack here of all the variants that I've got, all the different covers that I've either been gifted, that I've either commissioned, or that I somehow have collected over the years. It's a pretty solid stack. I do think there's a couple that I've got that are slabbed that might be buried in my slab boxes. So this may not be the complete list, but this is certainly all the non-slabbed versions that I've got here. And so I can definitely run through some of these. Some of these I've shared a ton, and some of these I just started or I just got recently. So I can run through some of those to start. We're only 10 minutes in, and I can run through. So this is the one. So I learned the term for this is a jam piece. And that basically just means a collection of different artists working together on one cover, right? And this one I just started at San Diego Comic-Con. And so my goal is to take this book to other conventions and have other artists sign or do remarks on it. So I started off with this Nooligan piece of Wolverine, because this is Wolverine and the X-Men. It's blank on both sides. And what I will do is just have someone add another X-Men character. So it'll be a whole collection of fun X-Men characters done by different artists. And little by little, it'll be Wolverine and the X-Men. So that's the newest one that I started. And Newligan is a cool artist that I got to know through our friend Chris Lopez, or I Got Issues. And he did this remark, and it actually took so long, he ended up doing it for free. He didn't even charge me. He's like, sorry it took so long, the convention's been crazy, so he just gave it to me for free. Absolutely a nice guy. So this is a jam piece that I just started, brand new. I want to do a jam piece. I love yours. So that I started that one because I finished this one. This is my Batman Villains jam piece. And it started with, I want to say, Nakayama doing the Joker. Then we added Jay Lee's Poison Ivy and Sabine Rich's Catwoman. And then Dustin Nguyen's awesome Mr. Freeze. Then later we added David Mack doing Two-Face. We got Daniel Sampers doing Riddler. And lastly, Martin Simmons did Harley Quinn. So this is my Bat Villains jam piece. Really great, really talented folks, all doing different stuff. And my basic instructions were pick a villain who's not on here that you want to do and go for it. No rules, no wrongs. And it was a lot of fun to see who people would pick. I know that Martin Simmons was last, and he was like, who do I want to do? And I know I told him, hey, Scarecrow hasn't been done. I know you probably do a really cool Scarecrow. And I think in the end, he wanted to challenge himself and do something different. So he did a version of Harley, which I think he doesn't get to do enough women. So it was probably kind of fun for him to do that. Right. So that was the first big jam piece that I did. And I was very excited about how it came out. Some of you in the chat might know our friend California Blend Gabby, and I commissioned her to do this Green Lantern cover of Joe or Sojourner Mullen and her awesome look as a Green Lantern from Far Sector. So this is a piece that I had commissioned. And California Blend, she's super talented. Gabby is really an awesome community member. She did the Batman piece that's right here that I've got on my wall. That's like the Bat Cave and Batman. That's painted on a canvas right there. She's got great stuff on her website. Our man Stay Puff, Sean, he's got a bunch of pieces by her. She's really talented. And I wanted a cool I like Sojourner. I think Joe is a great character, a really interesting new take on the Green Lantern because her ring doesn't operate the same way as other rings do. And I think that's kind of cool. And that Far Sector mystery book, 12-issue mystery series, is a very different kind of Green Lantern story. It's like a murder mystery. So it gives me, I don't know, Blade Runner kind of vibes in some sequences. Really cool. Next up, we got my man Izzy Verse. So this is a cover that Izzy did for me, I think during C3 2 years ago, something like that. 2 or 3 years ago, he did this Department of Truth variant. Just gorgeous. And the book itself is signed by Tinian. So I think Izzy left the signature blank so that you could still see the Tinian signature because it comes with the COA from Tinian for this issue of Department of Truth. The sketch cover is for issue number. Does it tell you? I don't know that it tells you, which is fine. I don't know that it matters to me. But this is one of my Izzyverse covers. Absolutely fantastic. The lady in red with those crazy glasses. So cool. But I tend to snag fun stuff like that during Comics Curing Cancer. It's a whole lot of fun. Absolutely good times. I am not certain who did this. And I've got to look closely at that signature right there. If anybody knows it, it might be Scotty Vaughn. It might be S. Vaughn. But, oh no, that's Soul Twice. I wrote it on the back like an idiot. And he was doing stuff during Heroes for Heroes, maybe. And I got this Hulk cover from him. So this is Soul, Soul, Twice. And he's a community member, and he was doing some cool sketch covers for, I think this was for Heroes, one of the veteran community auctions for veterans. All right, next up, this is our man Loch Nguyen, and he does a lot of cool stuff. I know he does like trading cards, like character cards. He's done a bunch of those, and he had this Dracula Blood Hunt red cover, and then he ended up doing this like Bride of Dracula drawing on it. I was like, dude, it's so freaky, so darn freaky. I may end up gifting this to my man Robert Galvin at some point, but for now it's hiding out with me. Bonjour, Jean. Good to see you, my friend. But that is a good creepy Bride of Dracula cover, and perfect on this Blood Hunt Dracula variant. Next up, we got our man, Mr. Miracle Comics. We don't see enough in the chats anymore. I know he's a busy man, but I bought this or got this Transformers sketch variant that he did in 2021. And Optimus Prime looking all boss there. What's going on? Damien's in the chat. The Sleepy Reader. Happy days to you. Sad vision. But there you go. That's Mr. Miracle from 2021. A little Optimus Prime action going on there. All right. These next few, I don't recall how I got these next few or necessarily the artists either. Let's see. This one has a piece of paper in the back. Let me take it out and see if it helps explain who I bought this from. Let's see here. I want to say I got this from Ruben Guzman as part of his collection. So this is the person's name is Deegan Puchkors, and that's his information right there. So he's on Instagram. He did this sketch cover for Ultimate Fallout Spider-Man No More. So of course it's going to be our guy Miles Morales. But this is gorgeous. Look at that. I mean, you wouldn't know that that's a sketch variant. The color work and the inking is so freaking solid. What's going on, Nate? Happy Saturday to you, sir. So I think I found this in the collection that Ruben Guzman gave me, and I think he was like looking to just clear it out, and he gave this along with it. He was like, no, I don't have room for it in my collection. But that is freaking dope. So Deegan. It looks like Dugan, but it's actually Deegan, I think. So there you go. But that is a cool freaking cover. Looks awesome. Looking gorgeous. And these next two, let's see here. I'm not certain where these came from. Some of these, when I was going through comic books, whoa, sorry for the loud noise there. When I was going through Comics Will Break Your Heart Jen's collection, I did find sketch covers that I didn't want to just have end up out in the universe somewhere. Sorry, there's another one. Woo. See, I got these bags were not sealed. So I picked them up to make sure that at least if nothing else, they would have a happy home here with me. So I'm not certain of the artists or who did them. This is Hey Perry, this is a Magic the Gathering cover with some sort of busty wench on the cover. I don't know who that is. I don't know anything about it. I don't know if there's a back cover that I should be aware of. Magic the Gathering issue 1 from Boom Studios, but doesn't seem to be any information on the inside. I do know that Jen was dating a gentleman who did sketch covers, so some of these might have been gifts from him when they were together. Looks like Stephanie Powers, who is Mrs. H, and she's gorgeous. She's one lady who knows how to take care of herself. I don't know who you're talking about. Stephanie Powers? Is that what you're talking about right here? I don't know. So there's one cover, and that one looks like it's done with colored pencils. No, there's some inking going on there. There's some inks. So there you go. There's that one. And then this is a Snyder and Capullo sketch cover from New 52 Batman. And we got Batman and versus the Red Hood going on there. That's a pretty cool. Lots of good detail work on their gloves and stuff. I was like, that is cool. I can't let that just disappear. That one's pretty dope. What's up? Kenneth Bird is in the chat. And then this one, I want to say I commissioned it. And I cannot for the life of me remember who I got this from. There's nothing written on the outside. Let me see on the inside. If there's a card or if there's anything written. No, there's nothing included. Ratatouille. All right. But I do believe I commissioned a Beta Ray Bill and Throg cover at one point. And I cannot for the life of me remember who I got this from. And I was hoping there was some stuff on the back. On the back, there's an Infinity Flux Comics Cards and Games sticker, but I don't know quite who that was. But you got Throg and you've got Beta Ray Bill. It's hard to go wrong there on this Thor's cover. The signature says H-A-M, Ham. I'm not quite sure who that could be. I guess it could be a K-A-M. I'm not quite sure. But the cover is awesome, and I dig it. So this is on a Thor's, Secret Wars Thor's cover. Then we got, this is a Deadpool 1 sketch variant, and I do believe this might have been Jen's boyfriend who did this one. And we got, it looks like Deadpool talking to a Tyrannosaurus Rex. It could be Devil Dinosaur. It's hard to know for sure. But a ton of great detail. Really, like, just a really talented artist. So, absolutely gorgeous cover there. So, some of these just sort of magically appeared into my collection, as happens, I suppose, sometimes. And then the last one that I'm not certain about. Oh, no, I do know this one. Oh, you know what? I think I bought this one at C3 at some point or was gifted it. This is an actual Dracula cover from 2024. So it would have been last year. A Wolverine sketch cover from actual Dracula. What's going on? Rod is in the chat. What is going on? Yes, Jen's boyfriend, Josh. Correct. So I believe some of these might have been his. I'm not certain because I found them in the boxes and he was already gone at that point. So I couldn't like ask him. But yeah, this is an actual Dracula cover. Really, really fantastic artist. If you guys don't know Drac, you're missing out. Adrian's a very talented individual. Let's see. And I got one other actual Dracula piece here. Yeah. And that is, he did this Magneto cover, which is so freaking boss. So this was won by somebody else, our man Scott Hazelwood, and he had them send it to me instead. Incredibly kind. So badass. And then he threw in the Wolverine one as a gift. So there's actual Dracula's work yet again. So cool. Such a talented dude. Absolutely boss cover. So yeah, this is one of the From the Ashes sketch blanks. Next up, we got Chinmo. Is that his nose? Chin. Oh my goodness. Community artist. This is going to start from 2019. So it's been 6 years. My memory, not the greatest. But he did an X23 all new Wolverine cover for me. This was a commission piece. I asked, he said he had an X23 cover. I said, can you do all new Wolverine on it? And it absolutely came out fantastic. So there's another sketch blank that I had done. We're getting down to the last 6 here. I've got a number of these. This next one I want to say is the same artist. So I think this is an Izzyverse. Yeah, this is an Izzyverse cover. And I got this last year at C3 from Izzy, I think. He did it. I said, I want a Nightcrawler. And he did a bang up job on that. And I believe that's his logo. Where is it? Did I cover it? Yeah, it's right there in the BAMF. Those little like 3 triangles. I think it's the Izzyverse NYC logo. But what a great cover. I mean, holy crap. They're just the smile, the bamfing. It's just so great. I love this cover. Crushed it. Absolutely gorgeous. Right. Next is an Eddie Rodriguez cover that I got. I think it was during Heroes for Heroes, and I actually bought a commission and I bought a Wonder Woman cover that was slabbed that I sent over to my man Magic Lasso, but I got to keep Mohawk Storm. This is the commission piece he did for me with all the cool lightning effect on it. Absolutely gorgeous. So Eddie Rodriguez, you can find him on Instagram. Really, really good guy. Great rates and quick shipping and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I agree that Nightcrawler is gorgeous. Thank you, Izzy. That might be my favorite piece you've done. At least the like ones I've bought. Although I've got a fair amount now. I've got a little collection going. So this is my man Eddie, and then I gotta try to remember if this is. I don't think this is Eddie as well. Let me open it up and see if I can find the name on these two here. Ooh. Yeah, I don't know that I've got the name on this one. That sucks. I know this one. I can't remember when I got this one, but another awesome Storm sketch cover. I'm going to have to go back and figure out who did this for me. The last Storm was Eddie Rodriguez is his name. Eddie Rodriguez. But this one I'm struggling to remember. The signature's not on there, so I'm not certain who this one is. I should have written it on the back, but my idiocracy came through. I think I got one more Izzy coming up next here. I got one more Izzy verse coming up because now we're in my Storm section, and you know I had Izzy do a Storm for me at some point, and I think that's his. Where's his logo? There it is. That's right there. I see some triangles. Yeah, so good. Talented man, Mr. Izzy. And he keeps, I think the thing I like is I've got enough pieces of his work now that I can kind of see his work continually improving. Like he just continues to get better because of how much time he's putting into it, how many auction pieces he's doing, how many commission pieces he's doing. He just keeps getting better. He's putting the work in. And I think it makes a huge difference for sure. Yes, I am that Storm guy. I am that Storm guy. All right, we're on our last two. I think two. No, last one. Last one of the Raw books. And I know that my man, Coach Vic, knows what's coming next. His partner in crime gifted this to me. Absolutely unbelievable. You're on Only Slabs today. I better tune in. He's got some books coming there. Okay. So if you guys haven't seen this before, or if you guys don't recall when this arrived, this came from J Hood Creative, our friend Jamie, and a good friend of Coach Vic's. And this is an absolutely phenomenal sketch cover. And what he did, he created a little like peekaboo reveal, because he didn't want me just to like see the whole cover all at once. He wanted it to slowly be revealed all the way to the bottom. And I liked that reveal so much that I bagged and boarded it in a way where I could continually open this piece the same way again and again. He gave me a little note on the back with a sticker. Absolutely incredibly kind gentleman. And he executed this so well, you would not know that this was a sketch cover. It looks like you'd buy this variant, right? So here we go, starting at the top. Peel this back a little bit. I've posted this a few times, I think, but so he chose a House and Powers of X blank, and he's got X-Men as minions, and there's Angel crashing into the X-Minions logo at the top. And next we've got part 2. I'll try to peel that back here a little bit. And part 2 reveals more of the X-Minions. It's so good. It's so phenomenal. The characterizations are so strong. Part 3. Whoa, where are we? Dun, 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 dun. Look at that. Come on, gang. Look at that. It is so flipping good. Oh my gosh. Every one of them, the personality, the minion-esque nature of them, it's so fantastic. I just absolutely love it. And then you could tell by the little pointy bits that this last bit, this is going to be Wolverine. and there he is. So flipping good, gang. So good. So there you go. The House of X minions. This is unbelievable. Jamie is so talented. He does such great work and doesn't necessarily have as much time as probably he wishes he could to do fun comic book stuff like this. But when he does, gang, just buckle up because it's going to be something special. And I know he's gifted several members in the community of his work at one time or another. And I'm incredibly lucky, incredibly grateful that that I was on that list at one point. This is just too perfect, gang. Too perfect, too exceptional. Every aspect of it, and not least of all is the reveal. The way he crafted the reveal for me. It's lights out. I'll try to put it back together the way it was here again. Because I just enjoy the reveal each time. Like every time I peel it back, because I can't look at it unless I do the reveal. So it lives in a silver aged mylar bag and board that's big enough to house all the extra cardboard and pieces involved. Oh, so good. The Linda Carter piece. You've got I forgot about the Linda Carter piece. That's fantastic. So there you go. Those are all the sketch variants that I've got. Coach Vic, he never did one for me. You'd think, right? You're the guy. You're the man in the chair for him. I don't know how he's not doing that. So there you go. That's I was going through some short boxes and I keep most of my sketch covers together, and then I keep the blanks in another box nearby. So as something completes, it moves into the completed box with all of these. So I thought I'll pull them out and see what we got, organize them a little bit. That was kind of fun. Let's talk Sinners, gang. Let's talk a little bit about this movie. Ryan Coogler, Black Panther, Fruitvale Station. What else? Ryan Coogler has done a bunch of movies already. I should probably look it up. Didn't he do one of the Creed films, I believe? Correct me if I'm wrong. Ryan Coogler has been a top tier, big mainstream filmmaker for a while now. And he's doing what I would call the Ryan Johnson strategy, which is that he is trying to create his own universes, his own ideas, his own films, right? Outside of the Marvel movies he's been doing, and Ryan Johnson was doing a Star Wars film. So I think he went and then did Knives Out and Glass Onion. He created this Knives Out universe, right? And he's having so much fun doing it. Good for him. So I think he did all the Creed films. I know the last one I think was directed by Michael B. Jordan. I think he took over for the newest one, whatever it was, Creed 3 or 4 or whatever they're on. But yeah, that makes sense that the two of them I know are really close. Obviously, because of Sinners here, he gets to play two roles. So let's talk Sinners. I will say I'm going to do some minor spoilers, so I should probably put up a little banner. See here. I will put up a little bit of a banner to kind of, in case anybody's like, oh no, don't ruin it for me, because the movie is not that old. It's probably 6 months old, right? But it's been streaming for a while. It was obviously in theaters and did fairly well in theaters, obviously recovering all of its money and making about I think the rumor I heard was it made about $50 million profit on top of making its money back, which in my opinion, post-COVID, those are very good numbers, right? Especially for a movie with no IP, right? No intellectual property that it's based on, no movie sequel kind of thing, no book, no television show, right? And I think that's really rare these days. So kudos for them successfully kind of navigating those waters where these days it's really hard to get a studio to invest in something like that. On top of which, it seems like between Michael B. Jordan and Ryan Coogler, they were able to make the movie they wanted to make without a lot of overreach from the studio and control, right? And I fully agree with this comparison. In fact, I would love to see Denzel do a Coogler movie and Jordan do a, a Spike Lee joint. I think that would be fantastic. I'm in for this swap. If they could switch actors for a movie or something, that would be great. So the plot of Sinners, if you don't know, it's a Prohibition era movie about a pair of twins from the South who had relocated up to gangster Chicago area, and the movie takes place over one, I don't know, 24-hour period when the twin brothers return to their hometown in the South and are trying to get a speakeasy, up and running. They're trying to create a gin joint in their portion of the South where the African American population can go and get a drink and listen to good music and have a good time and not have to worry about local authorities and, oh, it's a dry county or whatever. And so they have shown up with the aspirations of opening that night, getting the music from the friends they have in the area. They've brought a certain amount of money and booze that they've sort of stolen from up north. That's a little bit ambiguous as far as how things ended up in Chicago and how they got down here. And they are reconnecting with the friends and family and maybe enemies that they had in their hometown. So the first half of the movie is really focused on the drama going on in their lives, both prior to coming back home and then now being back, right? And the two performances that Michael B. Jordan gives here as the two brothers is fantastic. I mean, he is great. It's almost like it, I would imagine, having only watched it once, because I could even tell towards the middle end of the movie which brother was which just by how they moved, like how they walked, and obviously the outfits that they wore. The color scheme is very different for the two brothers. But beyond that, I think he just had, it looked like a lot of fun crafting these two brothers, and the way that Michael B. Jordan gets into these roles is exciting to see on stage. There's an electricity, I feel like, in his performance that's really kind of fun to watch. But the movie shifts gear right around the middle of it. I would say it's about the middle point of the film. And it, spoiling it, it's a vampire movie. And it goes through I've heard people compare it to From Dusk Till Dawn, in the sense that the first half of From Dusk Till Dawn is a typical Quentin Tarantino criminals on the run movie. And then it shifts in the midpoint pretty dramatically to a vampire, we got to survive the night kind of movie. And that's precisely what this story structure is here in Sinners. Obviously, the other movie is a very much Robert Rodriguez film, and this is very much a Ryan Coogler, Michael B. Jordan film. But the plot device is the same. And I don't think that hurts the movie at all. I know people that are very up in arms about that, and none of them are named Robert Rodriguez, so I don't think their opinions really matter. Robert Rodriguez was not upset, so if he's not upset, nobody should be upset. But instead, what I think makes the movie its own is the tone and the cinematic worldview that Ryan Coogler is presenting. In this case, it's looking at Prohibition era America and the differences between the North and the South at that time. And I think there's a very interesting look at gender and race roles. And I think he's got a lot of interesting things to say there. And I think that is what makes the color palette for this film so interesting. And the language of that occurs in both visuals, the cinematic look of the movie, but also the music in a big way, because music is all through this movie. Whether it's the gin joint jazz he's got going inside the club that they have, or whether it's the like the poor white people music that we hear, the gospel kind of music that we hear from some of the characters outside of the joint. There's a really interesting use of music as a layer, and I think it adds a ton of substance to the story. It's like painting in a whole other color at the same time. And that was almost my favorite part, is that blend of visuals, performances, and music. And it's very evocative and very effective in the film for sure. Coach says, were we set up for a smoke and stack prequel? I think that there is room for a prequel story that gets them from Chicago to their hometown, but I don't know that it's needed. Instead, I think there's room for a sequel. I think there's room for spin-offs. I would love Coogler and Jordan to be able to have a connected universe expansion to this. I'd be very curious where it takes them, if they're given I hope, freedom to tell some of those stories. Izzy says Sinner has major Oscar buzz, will get nominated. I think so too, especially in the era of 8 to 10 movies getting nominated for Best Picture. It has a definite shot at getting that nomination. I would love to see Michael B. Jordan get a nomination. I would love to see Ryan Coogler get a directing nomination. I think in all three cases, they carried this movie for certain. And I think the work that they put in is evident, in my opinion. It's a lot of quality work. So obviously, there's other performers in the film that you could tie in, and and I don't want to spoil it too much. I'm just giving some basics. The vampire stuff, the second half of the movie has a ton of good suspense and action to it, and lots of twists and turns, some that I expected and some that I didn't. I knew that it was a vampire movie going in, but I think there were people that didn't, and I envy them that moment of watching it in the theater and just kind of getting caught up in these brothers, and can they make this gin joint work? Are they going to be dealing with the local clan, which they obviously come across? Can they make their relationship work as brothers? Because they are definitely very contentious at certain points, despite being very loyal to each other. Can they get their family lives in order? So I think that there's a lot of good drama happening. And then when it kicks into a vampire movie in the second half, you're like, whoa, okay, now I've got all the background, all the setting, all the character stuff, but we're going to throw that into a horror movie, and it takes a really cool twist. Solo Wookiees here. What's going on? We're talking about the Ryan Coogler directed film with Michael B. Jordan playing twin brothers called Sinners. And it dropped over summer. I want to say June, possibly somewhere. It is now streaming and definitely worth the time. Really good horror adjacent kind of a film in the vein of From Dusk Till Dawn, but not, in my opinion, not as not as Tarantino and Rodriguez. I feel like Ryan Coogler is a more subtle filmmaker. I think he is a more talented filmmaker than Robert Rodriguez. Nothing against Rodriguez. I do like his movies a ton. But I do think he can sometimes be one level and not necessarily have a ton of layers to his movies. It depends on the quality of the screenplay that he's working with and the quality of the actors that he's working with. But as much as I enjoy From Dusk Till Dawn, and it is a whole lot of fun, it is a bit of an uneven movie. And the Quentin Tarantino first half and the horror film second half don't fit together as well in that movie as they do in Sinners. I think in Sinners, those two pieces feel already entwined, even at the beginning of the movie. They feel like, okay, this is one movie, not sort of halfway sewn together. Versus From Dusk Till Dawn, I got the vibe that they didn't quite sew those two movies together as well, and it felt a little fractious to me personally. Wellbore is in the chat. What's going on, friend? And the Reverend himself. What is going on, Reverend Bleak, in the chat? I hope you're doing well, brother. I hope things are going all right. So yeah, Sinners was really enjoyable. I had to watch it on my own, mostly because I wasn't sure how racy it would get. And there's some sexy, racy bits, but my girls could have handled it. And my wife is not a huge horror buff, and I wanted to know how horrific it would be. She's got to have the right kind of blend. I think she would really enjoy this movie as a non-horror fan. I think she would enjoy it the same way you could enjoy a From Dusk Till Dawn. It's not a jump scare slasher movie. It's not a paranormal activity, creepy movie. I think it's just the right mix of action and horror in that second half. And it's predicated on the drama, the really well crafted and executed drama in the first half. So I think that's what makes it effective in the end for me. I don't do horror movies, and I enjoyed this. And I think that's true. I think it's a kind of movie that by the time the horror kicks in, by the time that second half kicks in, you're invested. You know, Haley Steinfeld and Michael B. Jordan have already drawn you in to these little stories and all these little things that are happening. And by the time it shifts gear, you're worried about them. You're worried about what's going to happen to them. You're invested in them. These are not even terribly likable characters. I will say up front, I'm the kind of person that usually struggles when I don't like any of the characters in a film and they're all despicable, awful people. And you could definitely say that about the two brothers in this that Michael B. Jordan plays, that they are criminals, they are murderers, they are violent. They're violent people, but they have a code. They have a code of honor, a code of ethics that I feel like makes it work. And you find yourself rooting for them to do better, right? And I think that's what I need. I don't need them to be pure of heart, good people. I need to feel like they want to do better. They want to be better. And I do feel that from the brothers here. Obviously, to a lesser degree, one or the other. It's going to depend on how you feel about Smoke and his brother Stack. You definitely feel like one of them is more likely to find their better angels, and the other one not so much. But that's the tenor of the movie. You know, they're really spending a lot of time on what makes someone good or evil. The gospel music background to this is important because the faith and the church, the roots of this community that they're trying to bring their gin joint into, is one of faith. So when you have a demon like a vampire who holy water and crosses can impact, then obviously religion and faith are a part of that project, right? And I think they do a good job of highlighting how these boys have strayed from the path, and can they find their way back, right? I think there's more to it than I think your average horror action kind of movie. Let's see some comments in the chat. Bleeker saying, not very horrific. We are accustomed to the Twilight villains, I'll say. Fair. It's fair. You're not wrong. We got Joe from Anachronic Comics. What's going on, Joe, my friend? I don't know if you've seen Sinners. We're talking about the Michael B. Jordan, Ryan Coogler film. I will not tolerate any Twilight slander. There he is. Circumstances coming in strong with the Sinners was great. I do agree. Same thing here. Feeling it. Solo Wookie says, I think it depends on what comic books and toys they collect as to whether they're good or evil. Fair. That's fair. Yeah. So obviously these are not, none of the characters in the film are virtuous, right? There's a lot of like having an affair, cheating on people, committing theft, murder. Like none of these characters are particularly virtuous, hence the name of the movie. But I get the sense that they have their own code of ethics and that they are doing their best to rise above the world that around them that seems to want to drag them down. And they're trying to do good. And that's what I'm finding enjoyable in their journey, the character's journey that we're getting here. You didn't spell that right, buddy. we got we got Darth Lopez in the chat. I'll answer the call. There he is. Okay, get to work. Perry, I don't know because he's jumped in and out. He's hitting the like button with all of his different accounts. Sicko is in the chat. He says, I still have to watch Sinners. I'm waiting till I get to move back home. My wife said I can have a 75-inch TV screen for Christmas. Yo, we're all going to Sicko's house for Christmas this year. He says, I'm not going to, I'm not sure it's going to fit. I may have to cap it at 65. All right, fair. Agro's in the chat. What's going on, my Star Trek brother? He says, not virtuous people. We're talking a bunch of Perrys. Shots fired. Joe says this movie's on his watch list. There you go. It should be, honestly. It is a really evocative and interesting film. And I was talking, my favorite qualities of the movie, obviously performances aside, because the performances are all excellent. It's the visual look of the movie and the music. And I think those two things, I saw a clip, I think it was Quentin Tarantino talking about the beauty of cinema is the way that it can, unlike any other art form, the way that it can combine music, the spoken word, and visuals, right? And these things all happening in conjunction with each other. And when they happen with artistry and with talent, you get cinematic moments that are truly astounding and truly impactful. You think of any number of moments from cinema where something comes together, right? E.T. sticks out that, the light up finger and taps him on the forehead and says, I'll be right here, and says goodbye. And the music is swelling and you're like, the emotions hit, right? Those cinematic moments, they're transcendent. They go beyond that moment in screen history, right? And this movie has that quality for me. It really has those sequences where you're like, the hairs on your arm stand up and you're like, oh my God, twists occur. And the visual aesthetic is so strong and the music so evocative. It really, it catches you, right? You're like, wow, okay, wow, that's impressive. For a horror vampire movie, not to diminish it because it has vampires, but just because I think that genre isn't always full of artistry. Something to think about there. But my favorite vampire movies have it, right? I think you look at Lost Boys, Bram Stoker's Dracula, Near Dark. There are these movies that go beyond just being a vampire movie and have something more to say and have some cinematic artistry to them. So there you go. Some of my thoughts on Sinners. I promised that I would go through and list some celebrities that you may not know were veterans, because there were a ton and there have been a ton. Oh, he's gifting some memberships. Circumstances gifting memberships. Somebody let me know who got it. Who got that membership thanks to our man Circumstances. I appreciate you, Marcus. I appreciate it. Yes, the Lost Boys are, well, not the Peter Pan Lost Boys, the ones in Lost Boys. Now, the ones by Joel Schumacher. Let's play this from my man Marcus. Let's see. Appreciate you, Marcus. Give me my number one, he says. So good. Here we go, Marcus. This is for you, buddy.
Wow. A super chat. Thank you. You.
Appreciate you, buddy. Oh yeah, Let the Right One In, another vampire movie that kind of transcends that genre for certain. Did anybody? So who won the giveaway? Who got it? Oh, Aggressively Relaxing. Thank you, Lasso. Congrats, Agro. That means you will be entered to win the prize at the end of the month. And I'm giving away a whole set of Spider-Man Life Story plus some trade paperbacks when we hit the beginning of December. So you will be entered to win, my guy. Congratulations. Thank you to Circumstances for that. Appreciate you, Marcus. Let me get back to the comments here. Sorry. Whoa. Get back in there. TM Nerdy's in the chat. What's going on, Travis? How you doing, man? You've been going live a bunch. Congratulations on 100 comic community interviews. Uh, that's an incredible achievement. 100 times he was willing to sit down with people in our community and talk. That's a lot. I don't know that I've hit that mark yet. But he interviewed Bobby DeLaGhetto just live last night, I believe. It was fantastic, and to be able to look back through all the people you have interviewed, that's a really fantastic achievement, my friend. And congrats. That's big time, sir, big time. So I think I'm done with Sinners. I'm going to take this down. Just final thoughts. Check it out if you haven't seen it. I'm definitely planning on watching it again here, hopefully before 2026, just so that I can make sure that maybe the family sees it. Maybe the wife, somebody can check it out. What else? Oh, yeah. So the veterans, I know Veterans Day weekend here. So I wanted to go cruise back through some people that you might not know were in active service. Ice-T, the gentleman from, what's it called? Criminal Investigation. Was it Law and Order Special Victims Unit? Ice-T served 4 years in the Army Infantry. Pretty badass. That's pretty cool. Don Knotts, the comedic actor, was in the U.S. Army. He was drafted in. He didn't see any combat, but he was drafted. He worked as an entertainer, apparently. So there you go. Don Knotts back in the day. Bob Ross, the painter, Bob Ross, was in the military. So he was in the U.S. Air Force and was a master sergeant when he retired. So that's pretty cool. That was pretty awesome. Aggressively says, I didn't let my little boy watch Sinners, but I explained to him how you have to be invited into a home when you're a vampire, to which he replied, just don't let any white people in. Training him right. I can see it. Let's see here. Buster Keaton, the silent movie actor, was in the Army during the First World War. There you go. Morgan Freeman was in the Air Force for 4 years as a radar technician. He left the service in 1959. There you go. Dr. Ruth was in the military in Israel. So she was, but I think that might be a nation where you are required to serve a certain amount of time just to be a citizen. Of course, Ted Williams and a lot of the athletes during World War II, when baseball stopped being played, a lot of them went and fought. Don Rickles, the comedian, was in the Navy. He was a seaman first class, 2 years on the USS Siren. MC Hammer served 3 years in the Navy. That's where those pants came from. You got to know it. A lot of actors like the baseball players during World War II. A lot of actors joined up. Guys like James Stewart. He joined up. He enlisted in the Army Air Corps. But again, a lot of those guys didn't necessarily see war the same way, right? Mel Brooks, the writer and director, joined the Army Corps of Engineers. He saw combat occasionally as part of the infantry. So he was part of the fighting in Europe during World War II. Charles Bronson got a Purple Heart in the Army Air Corps. He was a tail gunner on a B-29. Kind of cool. Jimi Hendrix was in the 101st Airborne. He enrolled for 3 years. He was given an honorable discharge because of a serious ankle injury that he had. So Hugh Hefner was in the military. He was an infantry clerk in the U.S. Army. He earned a sharpshooter badge. He went through Killer College, where troops performed maneuvers while throwing grenades. Yikes. Impressive. Drew Carey, the comedian and actor, was in the United States Marine Corps Reserve. Adam Driver, I believe he was in the Marines. It doesn't say here, but he did join the armed forces after 9/11, and he served for, I want to say, 4 years. Pretty badass. B. Arthur, one of the Golden Girls, Ryan. She was in the Marine Corps as a typist and truck driver. She joined at the age of 21, but didn't last terribly long. It looks like 30 months, so a little over 2 years that she served. So there you go. Chuck Norris was in the Air Force and served as an air policeman in South Korea in 58. Pretty awesome. As if you didn't know, Chuck Norris was already awesome. Adam Driver grew up 10 minutes from you. What? No way. Johnny Carson was in the U.S. Navy in 1943. He was a midshipman aboard the USS Pennsylvania in the Pacific Ocean. Let's see here. Of course, Elvis Presley famously was drafted and joined the Army, but they tried to keep him safe so that he wasn't necessarily on the front lines. Mr. T himself. Let's see here. He was a military policeman after getting expelled from Prairie View A&M University for his grades. His drill sergeant gave him a letter of recommendation, as well as the top trainee of the cycle award. So there you go, Mr. T. Let's see here. Who else we got? Sidney Poitier. Sidney Poitier was in the U.S. Army. He was 16 years old when he was enrolled, and he lied about his age. Served as a medical attendant in a mental hospital in New York City. Let's see. Clint Eastwood was drafted into the U.S. Army during the Korean War and served as a lifeguard and swim instructor at Fort Ord in California. So maybe not the hardest time, but he was discharged in 1953. Let's see. Pat Sajak. He was a disc jockey for the U.S. Army for 18 months on Armed Forces Radio. So he was a Good Morning Vietnam kind of guy. Let's see here. Tom Selleck was in the California National Guard from 67 to 73. Alan Alda of MASH fame. Let's see. He began at Fordham University's Reserve Officers Training Corps and moved into Army Reserve after that. Let's see here. Steve McQueen joined the Marines in 47. He saved 5 men from drowning after an Arctic training exercise put them in harm's way. That's pretty awesome. Let's see here. So there's a few awesome celebrities who served. Let's see. Chris Christopherson, U.S. Army in 1960. He trained to be a helicopter pilot. He was stationed in Germany. That's pretty awesome. Johnny Cash. Most people know Johnny Cash was in the Air Force. He served all through Europe, I want to say. Willie Nelson was medically discharged after 9 months due to back problems, but he was in the Air Force for 9 months. Let's see here. Harry Belafonte was in the U.S. Navy in 44. He did not go overseas, but the GI benefits from his service let him continue his education at the New School for Social Research, and he went on to acting, of course, after that at the New School. So, but he was a U.S. Navyman. So there you go. A few people who served. I tried to focus on the U.S., but you never know. There's obviously a lot of people who served for other nations, and Sean Connery was in the service in Scotland. So there you go. Izzy says, I'm near Fordham. It's less than a few blocks from me. I grew up in Fordham. There you go. Steve McQueen. Yes, Steve McQueen, the actor. And I guess technically he raced cars. That's true. World War II Army Signal Corps are insane. Stan Lee, Dr. Seuss, Frank Capra, Charles Adams, and more. Yeah, they really had a crew, right? They really had a crew. What is going on, Air Spider? I didn't say hi to you. How you doing, friend? I hope things are going all right. All right. So there you go. There you go. A little bit of something to think about. Obviously, Veterans Weekend, technically, because it's on a Tuesday this year. Hopefully, spending a little time appreciating the veterans and maybe donating some time or money or something to support veterans in your area, or just being thankful, right? Hanging that flag with pride a little bit this week. But that is it for me. Yes, James Doohan. You know what? It's a great point. James Doohan, Scotty from Star Trek, has a really interesting life of service, whether it's obviously military service or the things he did for Star Trek fans and things like that. He was a really interesting guy who did some pretty amazing things. He was one of a kind. I wish I was cited by the Queen, man. Green with envy. I don't know what that means, but okay. Tolkien fought. Yep, Tolkien for sure. Yep. He did serve on the Enterprise. But that's it, gang. That's it for me. I've got to get over. We're cleaning up the house. Kate's 18th birthday is Thanksgiving Day. Her birthday is happening on Thanksgiving this year. Hasn't happened that way in a little while. And so we're doing her birthday next weekend. Her birthday party for the family and everything is happening here. So we got to clean up the house, get everything ready for family and friends. And we're test driving, projecting a movie in the backyard. So we're gonna test the technology tonight. She's doing her SAT today. So I'm gonna pick her up from that in about an hour and a half. So that's our day today. I'll probably be in and out of chats and things and listening to live streams while running around here cleaning up the house and getting it all spick and span. But I appreciate everybody coming by. For me, I should have D&D tomorrow night for the first time in about a month and a half, it seems like. So Dungeons and Dragons, I am hosting it on Sunday night. Then Tuesday, I believe, No Good is hosting Omni X-Men over on his channel for issue 196. And then Wednesday, my man Magic Lasso is hosting us for it'll be Justice League versus Avengers on his channel Wednesday night. And that, I believe, are my live streams coming up the next few weeks, or the next week, I should say week. I'll probably have another Saturday show next weekend. For Kate's birthday is happening, but hopefully it'll be an easy morning. Everybody sleeps in around here. I want to thank the channel members, and newly we will add on our Aggressively Relaxing is now a channel member for the month. So here are the people that are keeping the StreamYard lights afloat around here and eligible to win the monthly giveaway. Every month, giving away some comics, trade paperback, some goodies. So this month, I'm giving away a full set of Spider-Man Life Story. So if you want to snag all the single issues, Spider-Man Life Story, plus you get to pick some awesome trade paperbacks from the collection. That's what the channel members will be vying for at the end of the month. Krista Simon, what is going on? We're just heading out. Hope everything is going well for you. Will we do a birthday stream? I mean, Kate will probably sleep in, knowing her, but we can celebrate her as best we can. I appreciate everybody coming and hanging out with us, and I will catch you all again later.